Hi, I'm Tom Hendrickson from the Agile Online Summit, where we bring great Agilists to the world. And welcome to our community spotlight, where we're going to shine the light on our Agile communities that promote the summit. Today, we're going to have a conversation with Ken Roberts from the Princeton Lean Coffee. Ken, introduce yourself to the people here at the Agile Online Summit.
Sure, yeah. Again, I'm Ken Roberts. I help people, teams, and organizations who pursue growth and want to be better at adapting to change to see more possibilities. So I work with organizations to build learning culture and adapt through agile mindset, concept, and practices. I impact them by helping them transform themselves to a better way of working. I also lead and facilitate the Princeton Agile Meetup, the Princeton Lean Coffee Group.
Yeah, and that's quite a group, and I've been there many times. But Ken, how long have you been involved with the Princeton Lean Coffee?
Sure. Yeah, I've been involved since June of 2016. Troy Lightfoot was leading the group then. He stepped back for various reasons, and then May 2017, I kind of took it over.
So you've been involved for a while, and what types of things do tell us about your community that you have there?
Sure, yeah. So, our purpose is really to build community, support capability, and agile mindsets in our area by creating opportunities for connection, sharing knowledge and leadership, and so that we and the groups we work with are better able to learn, adapt, honor our customers, our workers, deliver value, and enjoy what we do. So it's really, in my mind, about building the community. It's about building leadership within the community. And growing and expanding our own capabilities and knowledge.
What type of tips, I guess, do you have for other community facilitators out there?
Right. So my recommendation for other community facilitators is think about consistency and transparency, right? I think it's really one of the things that we did. When I originally took over the group, we were lucky if we had 5 or 6 people show up. Now we have somewhere between 20 and 50 that show up on a regular basis. Last count I took, we had 724 members that actually were getting our meetup responses and emails and that kind of stuff per meetup. So I've grown the group a lot, and I think that had a lot to do with consistency and also making sure that we engage the members beyond it. This isn't the Ken Roberts show. This is the Princeton Agility Group. And what that means is I want to try to make sure that the folks that are engaged and involved, that their voices are being heard, that they've got a chance to lead, that they'd have a chance to bring their own knowledge and capabilities into the group.
How do you build that engagement with the members?
I think a lot of it comes through facilitated practices. I think it's really important if you are leading one of these groups that you understand, how to engage all voices, how to use those facilitation capabilities. So what we do in the group is we do lean coffees 2 months out of 3, and then we do lightning talks. So we can't do lean coffee with like 30, 40, 50 people, a single group. So what we do is we break out into smaller groups, and we have facilitators that work with those smaller groups. And then at the end of the night, we circle back together and share information with each other. For those of you that aren't familiar with lean coffee, what that is a kind of a democratic way of coming up with topics and ideas. So each group comes up with their own agenda and their own topics. They identify things that they may want to talk about. They would vote on those things as a group and determine what they want to prioritize discussion about. They would time box the conversations to a particular amount of time and then extend those conversations if they want to. And that then, when we're done with that portion of the meetup, then what we do is we get back together at the end and we share knowledge with each other. The other thing that we introduced back in, I guess it was November of 2018, was lightning talks. So those of you who are not familiar with that, those are just really short talks. We generally take between 10 and 12 minutes with a couple of minutes left over for Q&A. What that allows us to do is people in our community then come up with ideas and topics that they want to talk about. They share it with everybody. That also helps to build leadership and ownership within the community. And that's another thing that helps with the community. Again, it's not just a matter of engaging all those voices, but helping them to build leadership and ownership of a portion of growth of that group as well. And that's what's helped to really expand things.
Now, Ken, we live in some kind of interesting times, I guess we'll say, but how have you adapted your group during the pandemic?
Right. So what we're doing is we're using Zoom, like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
We're using Zoom and we're using Mural. And what I do is, it used to be relatively easy just to kind of take the facilitators and get them up to speed pretty quickly. But what I'm trying to do is, prior to the Lean Coffee, the facilitators, we get together and we talk about how we might want to do it. We experience how to use the Zoom tools and how to use the mural tools. So we do some preparation beforehand to make sure that things go very smoothly during the actual meeting or session itself. So you got to have familiarity with the tools, but also with the purpose and intent of those breakouts and how to make them work effectively. So a lot of that, again, is engaging with the facilitators ahead of time. And the other thing we do is try to make sure that there's back channel communication. We try to make sure that there's ways that they can communicate through Slack with me directly. I also tend to bounce around from group to group, not so much to engage or interfere, but just to listen in, and if they've got any problems with connections or anything like that. We've got somebody that's bouncing back and forth between the different smaller groups and breakout sessions to make sure that we are able to deal with any problems or issues and allow the facilitator to continue on with the group itself.
Yeah, and I can attest, I've been a facilitator a couple of times, and Ken, you do a good job of kind of like you mentioned, bouncing in. I know it seems like we had some various issues pop up and you were there to help out. So I always appreciate that. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I always believe, especially with larger meetings, you should have a tag team. It's always important to have somebody there that is, you're not just, it's not just the main facilitators doing all the work, but you've got somebody that can support them and provide the help that they need with the technical tools, or people who are kind of having problems or issues, that they can go deal with that and you can continue on with the conversation. So pairing up or having a group of facilitators really makes a huge difference when you've got a large group that you're working with.
Excellent. Ken, we really appreciate your time. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I'm just interested, COVID's changing things. And what I'm trying to do is grow and expand this group. One of the things that we're working on right now is we're coming up with a group of volunteers. So rather than me kind of leading or facilitating the group, I want to try to come up with a community around the group that actually leads it and engages with it as well. I know a bunch of user groups that do that. The other thing I'd like to do is start marketing the group a little bit more, especially with COVID. I believe that there's more competition out there, which is great. Not that I'm necessarily trying to compete, actually, because we're all learning. But in order to expand this group and its purpose and capability, we want to try to make it more attractive to people to join. So I'm really kind of curious about what this group's going to look like, given the changes in the world, COVID, remote working, and everything like that. I'm kind of curious what the group's going to look like about 6 to 12 months from now, because we're going to change.
Yes, it's changing quickly, and it's interesting to see. So thanks so much, Ken.
Thank you too, Tom. Hey, I really appreciate you reaching out and doing this. I really do. And I'm really looking forward to the online summit. You guys are doing some great work there, and I'm looking forward to seeing that myself.
Excellent. On behalf of Ken Roberts, I am Tom Hendrickson for the Agile Online Summit.